Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out Polygon's price chart. And I believe the last time that we talked about Matic, we were right in here, and the idea was maybe this is an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle structure, and we are going to have another move down in the short term, but the move down most likely is not going to be that strong. And then what we want to see off of the lowest low is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up in order for us to be very optimistic in the short term. So what happened? Let's go on 15-minute time frame, and now I am going to argue this wasn't actually the end of our leg. Instead, this is now, excuse me, let's just delete this one, an A, B, C zigzag to about this point. This was yet another ABC on the upside, and right in here was actually the end of our leg, like this: A, B, C, D, E, and this is absolutely a 5-wave impulsive structure down into wave C. Now, what is happening starting from the lowest low? First things first, I need you to consider this point right in here, the low of our correction in Polygon, and not this one. Why? Because honestly, this seems like quite a slow and choppy move up, which is a characteristic of a corrective movement, and on the other hand, this is quite a strong move down in form of a 5-wave. So I am inclined to say maybe this is 1, this is 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, and a truncated wave 5. I know truncated waves are quite rare, but it is possible to have that. Now, if you want to consider that, what is happening starting from here? Well, like we said it earlier, if you want to say we're going to have our final low around this region, maybe this is like a very important support, then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low in here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. This specific example is an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, wave 3 is not allowed to be the smallest wave. Okay, this is a big no-no in Elliott's waves. And in terms of the sub waves, you probably know it. 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. Okay, and for wave 2 and 4, we can have different counts. Let's say maybe, yeah, okay, ABC into 4 and the WXY into wave 2. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is going on. And first things first, I believe this is quite a strong move on the downside, and if you go on some lower time frames, for example on like 1 minute chart, you are absolutely able to find a 5 wave in here. This seems a lot like also an ABC up and not a 5 wave. So I'm trying to tell you, maybe in Polygon we are having starting from this high, maybe an A, B, C in form of a running flat. Now if we are bullish and the low is already in, then I guess we can argue this is a wave 1, probably a wedge structure, ABC running flat into wave 2, and at the moment we are on our way to have a big move into wave 3, and maybe the end of it is actually right in here. And what we want to see in the short term, in order for us to talk bullish with a lot of confidence, is a consolidation pattern, a correction for 4, and yet another move on the upside into wave 5. If I see this, at that point, I am going to be very optimistic in the short term in Polygon. Now, having said that, let me be very clear. This doesn't mean that right in here is a long opportunity for us. Absolutely not. Why? Because question, what happens after a 5 wave up? I think we can all agree nothing is going to go up or down in a straight line. That's why after this structure is over, I'm expecting a pullback, and the pullback itself, from my point of view, is not really that important. Honestly, it is kind of predictable. What really matters is the shape of our pullback. If this is a slow and choppy move down with a lot of overlapping of the waves, that can be a very good sign, indicating we are having a correction and the next move up is going to be massive. Why? Because on a higher degree, at that point, you are absolutely able to argue this is 1, this is 2, and what's going to happen next? We're going to have a good move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And since one very important characteristic of a wave 3 is being quite a strong and sharp move on the upside, we can expect the next move up in Polygon after this consolidation pattern to be absolutely huge and massive. And right in here, assuming that we identified the right subwaves, you know what, fair enough, can be a great buy opportunity. So let's have a quick conclusion and wrap up today's update. In Polygon, in the short term, what we want to see is a corrective movement, potentially and hopefully into this wave 4, and then yet another move up into wave 5, but this is not a long opportunity. After this is over, I want to see a correction structure down, and for example, let's say the end of our wave 5 is actually going to be in here. Let's see what can be a large target for our correction down this phase, maybe somewhere around the 61.8% to about potentially the 78% level. Between 23.5 to about 24 cents area can be a decent target for our correction. But again, let's not jump into that kind of conclusions. No, let's for now at least focus on this move up and then pay full attention to the shape of our pullback. Okay, if we see the right structures, this can be a great buying opportunity. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Polygon's chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.